In 1966, under then-President Lyndon B. Johnson, a law was passed that allowed citizens access to certain documents that did not pose a threat to national security. Now, many people might find that law a little bit silly, and in most cases I can see why. However, it could be quite amazing if you think about it. Imagine, for instance, I can't find a copy of a certain spacewalk anywhere, and I think that there's reasons that I want to see that spacewalk. In fact, I want to see the entire thing. And so, I made my first Freedom of Information Act request to NASA. What do you think they had to say? Let's find out. Thanks for joining me. This is 𝘑𝘬𝘗𝑚.
Guidance is internal.
Ignition sequence start.
3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. 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 Because it looks so fake.
What's going on, everyone? Jaren from 𝘑𝘬𝘗𝑚. Real quick video. I wanted to share my Freedom of Information Act request with you, just so you can see what's up with everyone's favorite space agency, NASA. So I made the request and I just got my response, but first let's see what exactly is the Freedom of Information Act and am I even in the right place? So first thing it says is you want to make sure that it's not publicly available, whatever you're actually looking for, and it's not. I've actually looked quite a bit. I'm looking for a particular spacewalk where all I can find is a 4-minute segment, and I want the entire 7-hour or whatever it is, the entire spacewalk. So far, so good. Second thing it says here is to make sure you're dealing with the correct agency. In this case, I'm dealing with NASA. So far, I am in the right place. Let's see if there's any other things I need to know. Let's go to the frequently asked questions here. So the first question I see that I might need to know is whether or not it's free. And it says here that there is no initial fee required to submit an FOIA request, but the FOIA does provide for the charging of certain types of fees in some instances. It says for a typical request that the agency can charge for the time it takes to search for records and for duplication of those records, and there is usually no charge for the first 2 hours of search time and for the first 100 pages of duplication. Alright, so it sounds like I'm in the clear there too. So let's see what happened. Alrighty, let's read the response. So this came from Lyndon B. Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, March 16th, 2018. And it's addressed to me. Sorry, I blocked out my address. I know you wanted it. Dear Mr. Campanella, this letter acknowledges receipts of your Freedom of Information Act request to the NASA headquarters office. Your request was dated February 26th, was transferred to the Johnson Space Center March 1st. Your request was assigned FOIA case number blankety blankety blank, and was for, this is what I had submitted, I'm looking for the entire spacewalk film from November 22nd, 2006. The video is the one where cosmonaut Mikhail Turin hit a golf ball from the port to the International Space Station, making it the longest golf shot in history. However, all I can find are short 30-second to 1-minute clips. I'm interested in the 7 or 8 hour archival footage, please. It says NASA processes all FOIA requests in a multi-track processing system, based upon the date of the receipt and the amount of work and time involved in processing the request. In accordance with CFR blankety blank, the agency determines whether the request is simple or complex. Based on the documents you have requested, we are placing your request in the complex processing queue and expect to process your request in 20 working days or more. Not really sure if asking for a spacewalk film is considered complex, but let's continue. Unfortunately, we cannot predict exactly when your request will be processed, as we currently have a backlog of requests. We acknowledge your agreement to pay $10 in processing fees. When you submit an FOIA request, you can put in how much you're willing to pay. I was willing to pay $10 for that film. You requested to be placed in the representative of the news media category. However, you did not provide sufficient information to be placed in this category other than to state that your purpose was for personal use and to update the crap footage currently open to the public. That is what I wrote, that was the point. I wanted to use it for personal use and to update the crap footage currently open to the public, which is basically none of this particular spacewalk. As the result, you have been placed in the All Other Requester category. As an All Other Requester, you are afforded 2 hours of search time and up to 100 pages of duplication without charge. Well, thank you. The organization has already conducted an initial search for responsive records and has spent 1 hour of search time. We have confirmed that this was a Russian extravehicular activity, EVA, and since there were no U.S. camera assets on the Russian segment of the International Space Station, the video that NASA maintains is of very low resolution. There is a full resolution video from 3 different downlink channels, which consists of 7 hours and 45 minutes. However, from this 7-hour, 45-minute video, only 5.5 hours are the EVA itself. Correct, usually the other 2 hours are them getting ready. Of the 3 download links, only 2 show the golf shot. However, one of those downlinks was filmed on the pink camera, which shows everything in a hot pink filter. There are a few options on how the video can be provided to you. Okay. The first option is to use the metadata to identify the 12-minute clip of the golf swing when the shot takes place, and that cost estimate is $160. What? $160 for what? Well, I didn't ask for the 12-minute clip. I asked for the entire 7 or 8 hour spacewalk. The second option is to provide you with the lower resolution video, which is currently maintained as part of the NASA Imagery Online videos. Okay, good. And the cost to reproduce totals $125. What? It says the lower resolution video, which is currently maintained as part of NASA's Imagery Online videos, meaning the video is already online, and the cost to reproduce totals $125? That's ridiculous. Final option is to reproduce the 7 hour and 45-minute video from the original current format to a digital file format, which would require special services that are chargeable to you. The organization would spend 12 hours of labor to reproduce the tapes to a digital format, plus the cost of the tape for an estimated cost of $1,075. Are you kidding me? The NASA FOIA regulations state that for copies of records produced on tapes, discs, or other electronic media, FOIA offices will charge the direct cost of producing the copy, including the time spent by personnel duplicating the requested records. You may access the NASA FOIA regulations and fee schedule here. Hold on a second. Are they trying to say that it would cost them, in real costs, $1,075 to produce a video? In an effort to reduce fees, you can either choose option 1 or 2 referenced above, or narrow the length of time of the video you are seeking. However, if you wish to obtain the video in the format that you want, reproduction of tapes to digital format, our regulations allow for an advance payment of the cost that will be incurred in processing this request. Since the total estimated exceeds $250 for the reproduction of the 7 hour and 45-minute video to digital video, you will be required to make an advance payment of up to 75% of the expected fees before you can begin to process your request. As such, please submit a payment in the amount of $806 within 20 days to this date of this letter as outlined below. Are these guys freaking joking? I mean, are these guys trying to say that they need my money? Let's see what they make. $52 million a day. Let's divide that by 24 hours and we get 2.1 million. Okay, so they get 2.1 million an hour. Let's divide that by 60 minutes. They get $36,111 per minute. I mean, let's see what they make per second then. I mean, I'm pretty sure you should be able to get your damn $1,000. Let's see, divide that by 60. And every second, so every two. Okay, that means 1,000, 2, 1,000. There's your 1,000. 1,000, 2, 1,000. There's another 1,000. 1,000, 2. There you go. 1,000. There I paid. 1,000. There I paid. 1,000. Everybody paid, and they paid again, and they paid again, and you got paid again. You really need my freaking $1,000? What are they trying to say? That these guys record spacewalks on reel-to-reel tapes?
What a dumb thing to do.
We're not using digital storage at NASA? They don't have all their spacewalks. This is from 2006. I'm not asking for something from 1942. This is 2006. They're not archiving footage from spacewalks in digital format? Holy smokes. Are you trying to tell me that NASA records all their stuff on old magnetic tapes?
Who does that? Who has time?
I mean, is this really what we're doing? It's 2018. Are we not digitally storing footage?
Let's get scientific.
I mean, this is a joke. As if this company can't move itself down the ladder anymore. I don't think it can go much lower, but every time I think that, they manage to do it. And how about the fact that they said that it will take them 12 hours of labor to reproduce the tape to digital format for a 7 hour and 45-minute spacewalk? 12 hours of labor?
Is that based on something that exists, or...?
I can't believe it. It really just feels like it's...
That is one big pile of shit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Crazy. Now we're looking at the FOIA fees. Anyone see $1,000 on there? Because I sure as hell don't. In fact, I see duplication is 15 cents. Wow. All right, and I leave you with the only portion of that spacewalk that I can find. It is so awful. Just make sure you keep your eye on the golf club, keep your eye on the area behind them, and also you'll see that they kind of miscolored the black background, so it makes it easy to see that maybe they were trying to block something out. And isn't it weird that we can't find this spacewalk anywhere, and now NASA wants to charge $1,000 for it? Can't imagine why they would want to charge me $1,000 for this video. We'll have to see. So anyway, step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Step right up, because this circus is in town. Come one and come all and witness magic. Appreciate you guys a ton. Patrons, you are the best. Thank you so much for all you do. If you want to join them, head over to patreon.com/𝘑𝘬𝘗𝑎nism and help me continue doing what I've been doing. So be kind, don't lie, and let's keep searching. Till next time, this has been 𝘑𝘬𝘗𝑎nism. Send in the clowns. Peace. Imagine if the police gave criminals a warning before they searched their financial records or their computer hard drives. Imagine if the criminals could charge the police money for the time it took them to clean up their records, erasing their hard drives, or trashing their CCTV footage. Think it might be tough for us to catch criminals? Well, that's how our Freedom of Information Act works. We tell government agencies what we want to see. The government then charges us for the time it takes them to search, gather, and review those records. And not overnight either. And not in a few weeks, but months. And then finally, after a long ordeal, they come to you and say, oh, here's those records that you were looking for. Well, I think that's what happens. I wouldn't know. I haven't got to that part yet. But if you want to take a look inside what's been going on with one of these criminal organizations, I mean, government agencies, then stay tuned. Thanks for watching. This is 𝘑𝘬𝘗𝑎nism.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1.
Houston, we have a problem.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. 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 Because it looks so fake.
What's going on, everyone? Jaren from 𝘑𝘬𝘗𝑎nism here with an update. Got to show you and point to exactly how the FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act, is going for me. Now let's remember one thing. So everything that NASA has ever done, built, filmed, fixed, or faked, was done with the taxpayers' money. Okay, we know that. I asked for a spacewalk video as part of the Freedom of Information Act from 2006. That's it. I didn't say go back to 1930 and find this video. I said, can I see this spacewalk video from 2006? So far, it has been 5 months and $1,400, and I got nada. Let's see why. So many of you might remember back in February, I made a Freedom of Information Act request for a 2006 spacewalk. The person who contacted me back that I was in communication with was this Jessica Cordero from the Johnson Space Center that is in Houston, Texas. So the first email that I got was on 3/16 that she said she had attached a letter that requires your immediate attention and response. And basically that was a fee sheet that said that the total would be $1,000 or thereabouts. So I responded in kind of long form here, as you can see, on April 3rd, and I started that conversation out by saying, please note that I am responding within the 20 days required. My calendar has the day as April 3rd, 2018, and the email was sent to me dated March 16th, 2018. According to this website, which is time and date, it places this response at 18 days. Now, many people might say, why did you act like that? Why would you ever come across like that? Well, let's just say I understand and know NASA pretty well at this point, and knew it was important to at least point out that I had responded in the required time. This way they couldn't say, well, you didn't respond, sorry, we didn't get to it. So I just wrote that at the beginning of the letter. And then I go on and basically ask a lot of questions about why I cannot be considered media since I do reporting to the public, because she said basically they were going to charge me $1,000 for it. So I had a problem with that. I also had a problem with the amount of time that it would take, according to her, to get this tape. It's only from 2006. Why was it going to take so long? 12 hours, I think she said, to basically record that onto digital format. I had questions about why is it not on digital format already. So basically I asked all those questions, and that was all on April the 3rd. So then I say, so ultimately I request to be reclassified, and I would appreciate a much reduced price for the full version of the best quality possible. I have no issue paying. However, if I'm going to pay $1,075, can you please show me what is costing that price, as the public has a right to know? Thanks so much. So needless to say, I never received a email back from Jessica. So then on the 9th of April, which was, 6 days later, I sent her a message, and this was after I had announced on Globebusters that the total price was $1,075, and I didn't think it was really worth paying. And then we had a $600 donation at that moment, which then made me say, oh, well, if you guys want me to keep going with this, I will, if we can raise enough money. So I said, well, let me go ahead and just tell them that we will pay for it. So on the 9th of April, I sent a message, Jessica, we have decided to pay for this. Can you tell me if it's guaranteed I will get the entire video, or is there some chance I get no video and my money kept? Thanks so much. So then on 4/22, I said, Jessica, did you receive my response? This is a lot of money, and so I'm just trying to confirm that you for sure have the tape and can deliver it in a digital media that I can view before I agree to the $1,000. Can I call you? So that was my questions to Jessica, because she had not responded back to my very first response. And then came the first sign of total and complete nonsense from these people. You'll see here on 4/23, I got an email from Jessica that says, hello, Mr. Campanella. Since our office did not receive any response from you within the amount of time as noted in the letter, your request is closed. If you are wanting to resubmit your request, you can still do so, but you're required to make an advance payment as noted in the letter. We are unable to process the request until the advance payment is received. If you want to speak by phone, let me know. So I'm like, what? What do you mean you didn't receive a response in time? I had already responded 2 times earlier. Then I said, did you receive my response? Hello. And then she's responding to my 4/22 email on 4/23 saying, since our office did not receive any response in the required time. Complete and total nonsense. So the thing that happened after that was a telephone conversation in which I told her I did send you the email, and I in fact put a screenshot and dated the time and date website to show that I had sent it within the 20 days. So you'll see this email sent on May the 16th, or it could be May the 18th. I can't read it from here. Says, thanks for the quick follow-up. Let me answer below. But you'll see in her email dated May 1st that it says, thank you so much for following up on this request. And as stated during our phone call earlier today, please accept my apologies for overlooking the email that you had resent me below that was confirmed to be within the response timeframe. As mentioned, I will reopen your case. So she admitted then that I did send the email in time, and she was sorry for not finding it. Hey, if anybody loses emails, it's me, so I understand, and everything was forgiven, and let's move on. Then came this series of very long and strange questions. Okay, so the first one says, we will require that you send us a brand new unopened hard drive for file delivery with the amount of footage that will be provided. That is our process. The hard drive must be new and unopened to protect our IT systems from viruses and malware. I'm waiting for the physical address and point of contact of where you can deliver this to. I also recommend that you send this using a certified mail service. So my response to her was, okay, no problem, but what size should the drive be? You didn't tell me anything about that. It should be, 1 terabyte, 5 terabytes, I don't know. And also, wouldn't it be easier for them to buy it and then just add it to the amount that I'm already paying you? Why would you make me go out and buy a hard drive if you're worried about your IT systems and you go buy one? Makes no sense. Anyway, number 2 question says, do you want all external footage during the EVA or only shots where the crew is in the field of view? One of the challenges with Russian EVAs is that there are no external U.S. cameras on the Russian segment of the ISS, which means that many times during a Russian EVA, the crew is not in the view of any of the cameras. We can certainly provide all external footage during the EVA, but cannot guarantee that the crew will. Okay, I said, yes, I would like to see the crew. No need for extra empty camera views. She then asks, do you want to see the NASA TV coverage of the EVA as well as the downlinks? If that is the case, it will be easier to provide the whole broadcast, which might include prep time. If we need to trim the broadcast, that will actually take more time to do. Okay, it's getting exhausting. So I said, please do what is easiest for you. My only requirement is being the cleanest shot of the astronauts for the EVA. Anything that takes more time, trimming or ending one feed to switch to another, don't do. Just do what's easiest and I'll skip the empty parts myself. Then she asks, this one really isn't a question, but more of a heads up. It appears that only the US astronaut was wearing a helmet camera. This is not unusual for Russian EVAs, but if you're expecting the full amount of video coverage that the EVA gets, you may be disappointed. So I respond with, one helmet cam seems fine. Don't worry about it. Just give me whatever you've got, right? I mean, it's not a big deal here. So if you notice, I've said nothing demanding, nothing. I'm totally in agreement with everything they're saying. And then she says, regarding the audio, the NASA TV coverage usually has communication from the crew and the ground with a translation. We cannot say for certain what audio is available until we pull the tapes. I put no problem. If the audio is separate, then don't even worry. If it's part of the footage, I'll take it. Just basically saying anything. Doesn't matter. Easy as possible. After that was done, we had another phone conversation, I believe in early June. Then on 6/4, she replies, this is a follow-up to our last telephone conversation. As discussed, we need the advance payment and the hard drive before work can be done. And she attached a fee estimate letter and the invoice, which provides the payment instructions. So I got that information. The price went up a little bit, not a bunch. So now that we had the total price, Bob and I went and looked at the Globebuster Super Chats ever since the day of the $600 donation all the way through that June 4th. I added that up and minused Google's 30% and came to about 800, somewhere in there. And I knew that we needed $610. So you're looking at the screen now. And thanks to 13 awesome donors, in less than a week, this FOIA request was funded. Big thanks to Joe Deshawn, who had a huge donation, and also Patricia Steer. Thank you very much for your large donation as well. So we were all funded, and it was just then getting the money off to NASA. On 6/12, I said, just letting you know I'm about to pay, and we'll be shipping the hard drive out tomorrow. Do you have an estimate on how long this might take to get the footage? And you'll notice that that email was on 6/12. So shortly after that, on also 6/12, I went to pay the price, the 75% that was required, which was $980 something or somewhere around there. So what happened was I went to the link that she gave me. It was a strange, older looking kind of input link, which I did. I input my credit card information, input my address, everything was fine. The amount was $983 or whatever it was. And then I hit submit. So then after that, the web page seemed to halt for 5 or 10 seconds. And then it came back with an orange box that said declined. So I thought, oh, great. And then within 2 or 3 seconds after that, I got a text message like I do whenever any card purchase is made. And it told me that the transaction went through, $993 to NASA. And I went to my account and looked, and the money was in pending. And so I thought, okay, they did get their money. So then I sent Jessica an email June 12th at 9:49 p.m. It said, Jessica, please check on this payment for me. First thing it said was declined. Then moments later, I got this text from my bank. And I took a screenshot of that text and showed her that it said that there was $136.64 available after a $993, that's the amount, purchase at NASA/JSC/NSSC Stennis on 6/12/9:42 p.m. with your blank card ending in blank. So as soon as I sent that email, I got this one in return saying that she would be out of the office for a few days. So then on June 14th, I got the email at 7:31 a.m. from Jessica saying, good morning, I will send a message to NSCC or NSSC to confirm payment. Also, where did you send the hard drive to, and did you have a tracking confirmation to confirm when it arrives? So 3 or 4 days later, I get the message that says that she has sent the email to NASA Shared Services regarding the inquiry about payment and wanted to follow up on the hard drive. Have you sent it? Were you able to track it? If so, let me know who received it. On June 21st, I sent the message saying, hi, Jessica, tracking number on the terabyte drive is 95055, blankety blank. And thanks so much. Please let me know what I need to do next. On 6/21, she responded, thanks for the email. I'm waiting to hear back from NSSC about the payment. I will ping them again to confirm the receipt. All right, then I got an email from Jessica that said, hello, Jaron. I wanted to let you know that I received a response back from NASA Shared Services Center. And as of today, they have not received any funding for this FOIA request. They said that they are sending a bill in the mail, which is just weird. I didn't even know how they would have my address. Please note that we will need to have the payment before any work is started, and we will also require the final payment before records are released. We will need your advance payment by July 2nd, which is 20 working days from the June 4th letter that we sent you. We can open a new request once funds are received. Also, I tracked the package, and this is the message that it showed. So you'll see the tracking number, and it says, we attempted to deliver your package at 12:40 p.m. on June 25th, Houston, Texas, but could not access the delivery location. We will redeliver on the next business day. She says, can you confirm what address you sent the hard drive to so that we can make sure you sent it to the correct address? I replied with this email saying, geez, can it get any worse? Here is a screenshot from my bank. I do not have another $900 plus to send you because it has been taken out of my account. And now we are 2 weeks removed. Can you please tell whoever that they need to look closer? I showed you that there was a declined pop-up followed immediately by a text like all my transactions showing the money out. So then I'm showing that on the date 6/12, it says NASA JSC, NSSC, Stennis, space, card ending in, and then $993. I said, I can't do anything else because the money's been taken. Also, I sent the hard drive exactly where you said to, Miss Leslie Goss at Maury Associates. I gave the number there in Houston, Texas. Why did they not deliver it on Monday? Can you please confirm the address and payment? And if no one can find the package, let me go complain. Again, here's the tracking number. She responded with, please contact the NASA Shared Services Center. My office does not get involved with payment issues. I cannot accept the screenshot as proof as stated in the letter. I just received confirmation from NSSC. I will contact Leslie Goss to see if the doors lock at a certain time or what issue might have been for the package not being delivered. Did you sign a USPS that the package could be delivered without signature? If not, that could be the reason. Hopefully it can be delivered today. So I respond on the same day, 6/26, and I said package shows delivered as per, and I leave a link to the USPS tracking information. And I said, on that payment, that is great that you don't get involved, but if you give me a link and I follow that link and pay you $900, don't you think you have a responsibility to give me the contact of who I should be looking for? That is some total nonsense that you tell me, please contact the NASA Shared Services Center, but do not follow that with a their email is here or the phone number is here. Can you please respond with who it is that I'll be talking to, and I am unsure what you need for proof. Money has left my bank and it says it went to NASA, so what else am I to do? Please confirm receipt as per the tracking number above, and please give me the contact info for who I need to be talking to. Did someone mail me a bill, you said? To what address and when? I will call my bank tomorrow and ask for proof of transfer, I guess. Could it be because I didn't pay in full, which they told me not? They only gave me a bill for 75%. How about I try and pay the remainder, and maybe they will see the total as paid? I don't know how your system works. You should. Thanks so much. So it was at this point that I called my bank and said, what's going on? And that's the call you're about to hear right now. And remember that I took out anything that might be private information.
Please hold for our next available agent. This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance purposes.
Thanks for calling. This is Rocky. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could help me with a pending transaction. I'm not even sure what that means. Is the money been taken out of the account, or how does that work?
Yeah, the money was already taken out of the account. However, it is currently pending because we are still waiting for the merchant to collect these transactions on the account. So there's nothing to worry.
So on 7/4, it had been a week, and I had not heard back. And remember, my last email said, here's the tracking number. It's been delivered. And can you please ask because the money is there? Can you find out what's going on? And so I emailed them and said, it has been a week, and I have heard nothing back from you regarding either the missing payment or the receipt of my hard drive. You have told me to contact NSSC and given me no name or contact info. How do we proceed? Who do I need to email to escalate this process? Thanks so much. So at that point, I said, okay, I better go find who I'm supposed to contact because no one's going to tell me. I do a little searching and find out that the NSSC FOIA public liaison is Martha Terry, and I'm assuming that's the person that I need to get in contact with. I message her and I say, Martha, can you please assist me with my FOIA request that has been a long process and what seems like constant issues? I received a link to pay $900 plus for 75% payment. I went to that link and entered my credit card info. The system took a few seconds and then said declined. Not but 10 seconds later, I got a text from my credit card that it was like all other credit card transactions I make. It said payment was made to you in the amount of $993 required. As you can see below, my bank is currently showing a payment made on 6/12, almost a month ago, in the amount of $993 as required. Mrs. Cordero now tells me that she does not get involved in payment issues despite being the one who sent me the link and giving me no contact info for anyone. I had to go find your info, and now I see that you were actually copied on that email. Something I didn't notice before, that she had copied this Martha on a previous email. Is that how you guys operate there? I've already sent the required hard drive. It has a tracking number and has been confirmed received as per USPS. I need to know what you need from my bank as proof of payment since Jessica says you cannot accept bank statements. So I need to know what the bank needs to send you, or who do they need to contact, since $993 is missing from my account, showing paid to NASA, JSC, NSSC, Stennis Space, MS, and yet the people at NASA think it's okay to say, nope, sorry, no money, and we can't help you. Please help me just a little here. Jessica said I have till 7/2, yet she has not replied to my 6/26 email, much like she failed to reply to my first email response when this process was delayed initially. I need to know the following. Number 1, confirmation of the 75% payment as paid 6/12 for $993. Number 2, confirmation of receipt of my hard drive tracking number blank. Instructions on what to do since I have completed the task required of me. If you are going to still claim you have not been paid, then I need to know what I need to get from the credit card company to prove to you you did. They took the money, they debited my account, so what can I do from here? I would appreciate a little help on your side, please. You people are getting $1,000 to produce a copy of a spacewalk from 2006, for goodness sakes. Thanks so much. So I hear nothing for 2 days, and then I get an email July 6th from Jessica saying, Mr. Campanella, the office has received your hard drive. However, until the NASA Shared Services Center confirms receipt, my office is unable to begin processing your request. The FOIA office does not get involved with receiving any money. Therefore, you will need to work this financial issue out with NSSC. I have confirmed that no payment has been received so far. NSSC office contacted me and requested an additional mailing address for you. Their office sent an invoice to the address you provided in your FOIA request. The address that I gave them is my P.O. box, which is correct. And it says, but have received a return to sender notice. That's just BS. In order to get a return to sender, somebody has to write that on the package. I never got anything. So how would I write that on my P.O. box? I've been ridiculous. Since our office has not received payment, the case will be closed out today. When NSSC confirms payment, we can reopen the action to process your request. Please confirm if you want our office to hold on to the hard drive since you are working out the payment issue, or would you like it returned to you? Which makes no sense. Why would I want it returned to me? If I wanted a hard drive, I would buy it for myself. I certainly wouldn't ship it to NASA. That doesn't make any sense. So if I ship them a hard drive, why would I want it back? What do you mean? What games are they playing? Oh yeah, send it back to me because I want to hold on to it until... What do you mean? Keep the hard drive until you get the money situation figured out. Why would I want it? And so at that point, I started feeling again bad. Like, did I not understand the guy on the phone? So I made another call to my credit card company, and that call is coming up here again, and it's been edited for private information. But in this case, you find out exactly what's going on, that the money's sitting there waiting for them to pick up. And they refuse to pick it up. They just want to close my request. Nonsense. I'll talk to you after the call.
Your PIN was accepted. Your card account balance is... You have 3 pending transactions. Detailed information for all pending transactions is available online. Main menu. Press 1 to hear your balance and Please hold while I transfer you to a customer service representative. Please hold for the next available agent. Thanks so much for calling. This is Andy. How can I help you?
Yeah, I was wondering if you could help me with a pending transaction on my account. I need to know what's going on with it and if the money has been taken out or what's up.
Yes, of course. I will be more than glad to assist you with that. Can you provide me your card number? Thank you. Just allow me one moment. Let me take a look on the account. So right now I'm pulling out the information to see the transaction that we're talking about. You mentioned that it's some pending transaction, the one that we want to double check, right?
Yeah, it's a $993 payment that I made to NASA, and they're now claiming they never got it. And so I looked on my account, and it's showing under pending, but I thought that the money was already taken out of my account. I don't know if it has been or hasn't, but I need to know.
When was made that transaction?
All the way back June 12th, so it's almost been a month.
I'm sorry?
I made the transaction on June 12th, so it's almost been a month.
June 12, let me see. June 12, just hold on 1 second, let me take a look at that. A specific transaction, June 12, let's see it over here. You mentioned that it's for a $900, eh? 93 cents?
No, $993 and no cents.
Okay. So let me see right here.
Well, actually, for this one, we are expecting this merchant can take the money because the payment in our end was clear, but they are the ones who haven't taken that money from your account.
So what do you mean the money has not been taken from my total?
Yes, the money has been not taken, but this company. So we are waiting for them to take this money.
Okay, hold on. You need to.
You already made the payment, but they are the ones who haven't collected the money from your account.
Okay, so you didn't make sense there. Has the money been taken from my account, my balance?
Actually, we hold that payment in order for this merchant can take the money out. That's why it is still pending, because as soon as it is posted, we're going to see if they take the money out or not.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that I wanted to make sure that the money has been taken from my account balance and put in a basket for them to take, correct? It's their fault for not taking the money.
They haven't taken the money from your account. We call in a specific part that money in order to expecting that they can take that money. But this company is the one that who haven't taken that money out. We already sent the request that they can take this payment, but they haven't taken the payment.
Okay, so what do I need? So what do I need to tell them?
That the company has not taken the payment. That is the main reason why this is still pending.
Okay, here's the thing is that this is for like a project that was due, and I had to pay them the money. So I paid them the money, and then as of today, they said they were closing the deal because I never paid them. So what I'm saying is, I need to tell them something. I can't just call back and say, "Oh, well, I did pay," because I've already said that, and they have already said they haven't received payment. So what do I tell?
What we can do is to request a statement. And you will see that it is still pending on their end because we hold your money for they can take the payment.
Can you?
They're the ones who haven't taken the payment.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to know. Okay, so can you send an email or something to either me or them if I give you the email address?
Yes. Well, actually, I can send you, but just for mail. I can send it to your address. The only way that you can get the statement, it will be at the website. That you can go to the website, you can
here's the thing.
Right there, and you can print it right away.
Yeah, I already did that, and they told me that that's not proof of anything. That I could have faked that, so it's not. They won't take a screenshot of the payment from my account. So that's why I think that the email needs to come, or the letter needs to come from you, because they think that I could just be lying about it.
Oh, yes, of course. We are able to send this statement. But in this statement, it has a fee for $5.95, okay?
$4.95 to send a letter?
Yes, $5.95 in order to send well, basically it's going to be the statement, because in the statement you will see that it's pending, but it isn't because you didn't make it, because we're going to send you the statement when it's supposed to be taken. That money, when you put it as pending, when you want to pay them, and you will see the name of the company, the amount,
okay, so
and the hours, and what time do you want to pay that money.
Okay, good. So, I mean, it's clear that I paid them on June the 12th, correct? Okay.
Yes, it will show that it was.
Well, I'm gonna wait. Don't send the letter yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call them back. I'm gonna tell them that they've been paid and that it's pending and that they're supposed to pick it up or whatever. And then if they want the letter sent to them, then they can pay the money. I'm not gonna pay it.
Yes, of course. Because we are expecting them to take the money from this account. That's why we hold that money for they can take it out.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And can I get your name so I have this noted?
Yes, it is Andy.
Andy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to leave some notes that we have this call.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right, thanks, Andy. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much. Great day.
Bye-bye. So all in all, I mean, how could anyone say this has been anything but a joke? I mean, I don't think it's possible that they can be this inept. But then again, it is NASA. So should I be shocked? Yet I still kind of am shocked. I don't know. I mean, look at the hoops they've made me jump through. The latest update was Jessica telling me that I had to cancel the payment with my credit card. So I emailed them asking for a cancel. They replied and said that I needed to wait 30 days or else have NASA send them a letter saying that, I was like, no, just wait 30 days. It was almost there. And it would be released. Well, on 7/12, that money was released. And again, I paid NASA. And again, it says pending. And there was no decline message this time. So who knows? Maybe they finally will get it after this weekend. I have no clue if my request is closed or what's going on as of today. But we will find out on Monday. So that is the story as of yet with the FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, and boy, do I feel free, you know? What is going on, everyone? It's Jaron from Jaronism, back with a live video for you tonight. Thank you so much for joining me, and a big special thank you to those who helped make this video possible. Let me bring up the screen for you so that you can see if I can get it up. Hope everybody is well. I do appreciate you tuning in. But I did want to show you first and foremost that this video came from the fact that we did a FOIA request. And here is the GoFundMe. So a thank you to everyone who donated. You can see, yep, somebody donated 5 days ago. That's nice. But before that, it was three months ago. You can see here, $40, $5. Thank you, Joe Deshawn, who did a good majority of it. And also, I know Patricia Steer. Thank you very much for a great donation. Thank you, Southern Israelite and the anonymous people. So anyone that did donate towards that, we also had somebody who donated a huge chunk of it on a Globebuster show when he found out that the cost of duplicating these files from only 2006. So anyway, on the screen you will see the GoFundMe, and that's the payment that NASA required for the duplication of this spacewalk footage. Let's actually do a short review on exactly what I'm talking about, real short. And if you go down into the description of this video, you will see a few things. Let me get those ready for you. You'll see a few different links. One of those is, or two of those, are a link to the 2 previous videos I've done on this. And hey, thank you very much, Super Chat. Appreciate that. Let me turn that off so you don't have to hear that every time. There we go. And let's see here. All right, so if you go back to here, we will see that I did a video probably, it's got to be back 6 months ago, 5 months ago now. And that was the first video I did. And it was called NASA Responds to My FOIA Request. There is a link for that video in the description. The second video that I did was called FOIA Nonsense. Also a link in the description for you to check out that video. And you're about to watch this video, which is the spacewalk footage delivery that I've been waiting for. And I'll kind of show you how that works. And then also in the description, you should be able to find 2 links to 2 different archive.org uploads. They were extremely large. I don't remember offhand. I think it's 46 total gigabytes that I had to upload. And the reason that there's 2 different ones, and those links, as I said, are in the description. One of them is tinyurl.com/NASA FOIA 14. The other one is /NASA FOIA 22. So just as a quick reminder of what happened, that'll kind of explain why there's 2 files and everything. You might remember my FOIA request started in early April, included quite a few mishaps and complications. And at first, my initial $986 payment went missing for a month. Excuse me. My card issuer said that it was pending and that it was awaiting NASA's collection, and NASA claimed that there was no payment. So I had to wait a full 30 days until the funds automatically were released back into my account, at which point I was able to try and make the payment again. That time they finally received it. So another month passed, and I finally got the hard drive back. I had to send them a brand new 1 terabyte hard drive. I got that returned to me, and when I plugged that in and looked at what they sent me, they had sent me the wrong spacewalk completely. They sent me one from 2009, and that is the one that's located at tinyurl.com/ and let me go bring these up for you, because right now I'm going to close it. We are not going to be discussing in any way, shape, or form the file that I did not ask for. So let me show you that one first. And here we go. So this is the tinyurl.com/NASA FOIA 22. And so you should see that on the screen now, if I'm not mistaken. And those files are exactly as were sent to me. So nothing has been changed. Nothing has been edited. They are completely and totally legit. Thank you very much for that super chat. Appreciate that. And so you can see here, starts out with a hour and 21 minutes, 15 minutes, hour and 10 minutes, 23, whatever. So what happened when I received this particular spacewalk is I had to send the hard drive back. At first, they tried to do that at my expense. Finally, they agreed to pay for it, which makes all the sense since it's their fault. And then another few weeks went by, almost a month, and I finally got the correct spacewalk today. Or sorry, not today, a few days back, 3 days ago. But they also included that original spacewalk. So that's why I've uploaded them both to the public domain. Again, tinyurl.com/NASA FOIA 14 or NASA FOIA 22. So I'm going to shut down this page here, the 22 page, since we're not going to be looking at that at all. We're going to be looking at the NASA FOIA 14, which is the spacewalk that I requested. Now, I would like to say that this is exactly as NASA sent it to me, but you'll notice that the 3 files here at the top that say 1, 2, and 3, they're all 1 minute and 26 seconds, and they all should say collectspace.com, yeah, down here in the lower right. Those are actually my video. It accidentally got put in that folder, and then when I uploaded it to archive.org with all these other ISS 014, M033, blah, 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 and I'll tell you what those mean shortly. It got uploaded with it, so it's clearly separated from the files that I got from NASA and the fact that their files are named ISS 014, blah, blah, blah. My files are named Space Station Golf Shot, and then it's just 2 copies of the same video accidentally got uploaded. So the story is that originally, when I requested this spacewalk, let me bring it back up here. The reason I did is because this is the only piece of the spacewalk that I could find online. And I searched high and low, different sites, typing in different, the expedition number. They always have weird numbers. It's like an expedition number, then it's an EVA number. Whether you're dealing with Roscosmos or NASA makes a difference. It just becomes a mess. It's hard to kind of keep track of. But no matter what I could do, I could never find this footage, which seems to be some golfer. He's supposedly taking a shot from what they call a porch outside of this Svedka module. And I could just not find anything. It was terribly done. And if you, let me see if I can see, you'll have to bring it up yourself so you can see the actual true file and not try and look at it secondhand through the YouTube restream. But you'll see that there's just a lot of errors back here, like lines, different coloring. Let me bring it back up so you can kind of see. And I was just concerned. I said, well, what's going on here? And then as I started to look into it, I couldn't find any real, any video footage at all that this spacewalk ever even took place. When I found out what exactly happened, which was, and we should be able to bring this up here, is a golf company, and I can't remember the name of it offhand. Let me look it up here. We're going to go Expedition 14. Let's see here if we can find this. Yeah, it might be this one. So talking about Expedition 15, or 14, sorry, which was Commander 𝘑𝘬𝘧𝙧, Flight Engineer 𝘑𝘬𝘳𝘢. These are the 2 supposed spacewalkers from this spacewalk. Talks about when they were launched up, and then they were part of this EVA-1. So real quick, just to read you what supposedly took place. This expedition's first spacewalk took place November 22nd, 2006. So that is the spacewalk that we're going to be looking at, starting at 23 Universal Time, having been delayed due to a cooling issue, blah, 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 blah. During the spacewalk, Tiryn hit a golf ball from the exterior of the Piers airlock. This experiment was sponsored by a Toronto-based commercial company, Element 21, which manufactures golf clubs made of scandium. The ball weighs just 3 grams compared with 48 grams from a standard golf ball. At that height, it was unlikely to damage any station components, which might accidentally have been hit. Total nonsense. There were 3 balls, allowing 2 options for repeating the shot if required, but only 1 shot was actually taken with a one-handed grip by Tiryn, while 𝘑𝘬𝘧𝙧 was holding his legs. The shot was a substantial slice, with the ball flying off to the right of the station instead of the rear. In 2006, there were plans for a video plans of video of the shot to be used in a TV commercial, which I don't believe was ever done. As you saw, the footage was terrible. The progress of the ball, which, now this is a classic sentence. Read the sentence with me and tell me this isn't the funniest thing you ever heard. The progress of the ball, which contains tracking equipment. Okay, so this ball, which weighs 3 grams, Okay, I don't know if you know how much 3 grams weighs. Go back to your drug days or something. 3 grams is nothing. And it has supposedly some tracking equipment. All right, the progress of the ball, which contains tracking equipment, could be followed on E21's Track the Ball in Space website, which was set up in 2006. Although the site simply calculates an assumed distance for the ball based on a constant speed and does not perform any real tracking of the ball. But it's 3 grams and contained tracking equipment, and you could go ahead and follow that if you wanted. However, it was just assumed and estimated distances based on a constant speed and did not perform any real tracking of the ball at all. So that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Stunt was carried out 35 years after Alan Shepard hit 2 golf balls on the moon during Apollo 14. First, let me voice this just so you understand. I don't mind if you think you live on a spinning ball. I do not. Okay? Not that I don't mind, but I also do not think that's where I live. Simply because it is not matching my reality at all. And for me to find truth, pretty simple process. You have to take all the evidence that you can, all the data that you can, process it, and look at it with your reality. If it matches your reality, most likely it's true. If it doesn't match your reality, most likely it's false. So when I hear things like people have been to the moon, it doesn't match my reality in any way, shape, or form. I can zoom in on what the moon is with my camera. I can see these spots on it. I can see this very bright object in the sky. Do I think that men have been there? No. Review the evidence and review the transcripts from Apollo 11 and check how many times while on the moon Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin said the words Earth. I'm pretty sure that if you just flew 238,000 miles, landed on a foreign body, and looked at your buddy, you would turn around and look back and say, dude, look at the Earth. Look at the Earth. 230. No, nothing like that ever said. The word Earth isn't said. So when you start to hear things like that, and then you realize, oh, well, that makes sense if you're on Earth, right? Why would you remember to say, hey, look at the Earth? You're on Earth in a soundstage somewhere in an Arizona desert. So you wouldn't remember to say those things. Other issues with the moon landing are numerous, but one of them also simply being when you look at the takeoff footage that they show us, or any of the footage that they show us, or then you go into looking at how it's possible that you could send that kind of footage, what kind of battery would be needed to send live video footage back. Then if you look into the newspapers of the time and you realize that all the children were given the day off of school. Number one, all the children in the country, take tomorrow off. The guys are landing on the moon. You should watch it with your family. So they wanted everybody at home. They wanted everybody in front of the TV. And then the TV guide, the newspapers, provided a schedule. At what time it would land, at what time they would get out, at what time they would do their moonwalk, at what time they would be sleeping. And then you have to realize, wait a second, this is the first time that men have traveled that far. This is the first time that we've landed a craft on a foreign body. This is the first time that they've ever done that. Would you want the world watching, including all the children? What if something went wrong? What if you landed and they all died? Well, then you realize this is just a made-for-TV movie. That's all it is. It's just a movie that they had put together, and they wanted everybody watching it, and they made sure that they passed out everybody in the country a job. Here, you build this little part, and you build this little part, and you build this little part, and make sure you go home and tell your families that you had something to do with the moon landing. So then the people build a little part, send it off to NASA, they go home and say, oh, I helped build the Saturn V. So when they watch the TV and the rocket goes up in the sky, and the next thing you know, you're talking to some guys that look like they're in a craft on the way to the moon, it all settles in, and the guys get all excited because they helped get men to the moon. It's a big pride thing. And then you go and tell your friends, yeah, did you see the moon landing? Yeah, I did see it. Yeah, that was my little trinket that went up there too. And before you know it, everybody in the country knows someone who had something to do with the moon landings. And just like that, you've socially conditioned the entire country to believe that you went to the moon. Even though since 1972, no person has ever been further than a few hundred miles. That is fact. That is admitted. And yet you're supposed to believe that 50 years ago, we flew 238,000 miles away. If you believe that, that's fine. It's okay with me. You can believe that. Then you need to understand why I don't, and I have every right to my beliefs, period. And I don't believe that we went to the moon, and that's because it doesn't match my reality at all. I know how technology works. I know that if we went to the moon in 1969 and 1971 and 72, that we would have a hotel on the moon, that we would have bases on the moon, that we would have people going around the moon all the time, that it wouldn't take 50 years and everything to regress and nothing to happen since then. And in fact, we've barely gone 0.5% as far as we went 50 years ago. It's not the way life works. It's called a lie. It's called a story, and you can either buy into it or you cannot. But don't get mad at me for my beliefs or my opinions when they're based off of things that match my reality. So the Earth is observably flat. That's the way it goes. Sorry. Sorry that I can see too far. Sorry that I can see mountains 170 miles away. Sorry that I can see boats, and when I zoom in on them with my camera, that they can appear to my eye to be falling over the edge, but then when I zoom in, they come right back. Things that men wouldn't have had 500 years ago that we have today to help us prove that what we've been told and what we've been sold is truly a lie. And you've been sold it. Whether you realize it or not, you've been sold it since the day you were born. That's why every Happy Meal and every toy is space-related. And you've got Space Jam. You got to put Michael Jordan in the space movie. And you've got to, it goes on and on, the conditioning. You got to have the Earth pass by with every movie beginning. And in every logo, you got to have the Earth. And it's something that can't be copyrighted. The Earth, the globe, is not a copyrightable thing. So everybody grabs a hold of it and uses it in their logo and uses it in their images because it's not copyrightable and it's just some image of the Earth that people want you to believe in. Now, again, you can believe that. Believe it all you want, and I'll show you reasons why I don't. And then it's up to you to decide. And if you still want to believe in it, by all means, enjoy yourself. Just understand, well, answer me this. Let's put it this way. Would you say that the government lies? Ask yourself that. Do men lie? Do men try and get one up on you? Do men try and get into positions of power to make money and to do so at any cost? Recently, I was watching Forensic Files. Not sure if you know that show. Pretty good. Thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that, Rebel, so much. So on Forensic Files, at one point, this forensic scientist is being interviewed, and he's talking, and he said, and I quote, well, I was really impressed with the work that they did because in this line of business, you can get anyone to say anything for the right price. And I was like, what the? Did he just say that? Like, that is not okay to just say. That as a forensic scientist, anyone in that line of business, in that line of business, that people will say anything in a court of law for the right amount of money. So these kind of things need to start to kind of make sense to us that, okay, wait a second. So if the worst people in the world have the most money and they're able to pay people to do their dirty work, we have to recognize that there's plenty of people in this world that will take that money and do whatever it takes. They'll lie to your face. Joe Rogan said it, right? Joe Rogan said it on his little thing when he said, hey, government, if there's something you need me to hide, just give me the money, show me the truth, and I'll lie to my mother. And that's what it really comes down to. That's what we have to accept, that there's people like that in this world. I mean, sometimes you just need to look at a sampling of 100 people. Or I've often told the story that, if you left a $100 bill on your coffee table and had a party with all your closest friends, there's a chance that $100 bill might remain on that table for the duration of the party. Now take it and say that as those people walked in, they were told secretly somehow, I don't know, in some fake world, that if that money was taken, nobody would ever know it was them. Well, all of a sudden, every one of your friends would take that money. Okay? And if you say, well, not all my friends, okay, well, half. Okay, well, a quarter. Okay, well, 1 out of 10. Okay, well, 1 out of 20. Whatever number you get to, multiply that out by the 325 million people that are in this country, and you'll come up with a huge number of people that will screw you to your face, whether they're your friends or you're not. So then you start to realize that there is the kind of people, there is the kind of numbers that could create this kind of lie, that could create this kind of bullshit, right? So really what it comes down to, and I lost my train of thought here. What was I getting into? Well, basically I was talking about the fact that we've got too many people that can't see through the indoctrination. They can't see through the lie. They can't even grasp the idea that they could be fooled on such a large scale when it's really not that difficult. It's really not that difficult to fool humans. It's been shown many times. And as I've said before, it's very easy to believe a lie, right? It takes 1 second for me to lie to you and for you to believe it. But if you want to know the truth, it takes much more time, takes much more work, and a lot of people just have no desire for that. And they did a great job selling it to us when we were young, getting us to believe in it before we were old enough to even think. Think about this. Before 2015, which is when Flat Earth had a resurgence, you had basically a 0% chance of coming out of 4th grade and not believing in the ball Earth, which is just crazy to think about. Think about that. you talk about indoctrination. When you've got a country who, by the age of 4th grade, all believe in one thing solidly because they've been told it since they were born. That's the only reason. We weren't shown evidence of it. We weren't shown examples. We weren't shown tests and experiments. No. It was just mentioned in passing, and we live on this ball, and it spins through outer space, and outer space is infinite, and these other planets exist, and we've sent probes there, and we know their sizes, and we know the size of the sun, and we know how far the sun is. It's 93 million miles, and we know it's 867,000 miles across, and we just all believed it. We just all bought it. And again, if you want to feel okay with that, that's fine. But just understand, I know what I was talking about. Does the government lie, right? So I was getting into, do men lie? Well, the answer is yes. Obviously, over and over again, they do. So why would you draw the line at the one place we can't go? Why in the world would you ever believe that? Why would you believe what the authorities telling you when they're talking about a place that you can't double check? You can't go to Saturn. You can't guarantee that those rings are made of rocks and that they has 67 moons in orbit of it. You can't guarantee. You can't back up any of that. The size of any of the planets in the sky, you can't prove that. If you think that you can look in some sort of telescope and prove the size of Jupiter, you need to do a whole bunch more research. You don't understand how the sky works. You don't understand angular sizes. You don't understand scaling and variance. That's just the facts. Because if you think that you can look in a telescope and say, yep, the sun is exactly 867,000 miles wide, you're wrong. It's all mathematics. It's not reality. And as Tesla said, these mathematicians wander off in various places in these crazy formulas, and they completely lose touch with reality. And that's what's happened. And we bought it, and they sold it to us because they said math is true, math is fact, math is everything. They taught us that, so then it got to the place that you look in the sky, you figure, well, they must be the distances that they tell us, even though the distances are ridiculous. And the fact that once you get the benefit of saying, oh, those stars, they're an infinite distance away. They don't change sizes. They don't change in their parallax. They're just an infinite distance away. Deal with it. They're all suns, by the way, because we can test their light, and you can believe all that stuff. It's, I just want to make sure that that's clear. I am certainly not telling anybody that they can't believe whatever the hell they want. Believe what you want. One of the problems, though, is that it's being taught. It is a religion without any stretch of the imagination. If you think it's anything other, holy smokes, do you not understand religion? Religion is a system of beliefs. It is a belief system. Just because a bunch of people believe it doesn't make it anything other than a religion. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if the whole world believes in your religion. It's still a religion. It's a system of beliefs based on axiom, based on foundations. That's what religion is. It's an adherence to doctrines, an adherence to dogma, and that's what science is. And that's what science has become. If you want to be a fan of that, if you want to follow in line like a lemming, that's fine with me. I don't mind. But you should also have the same opinion of me and just say, hey, if Jaron wants to believe that the Earth is a flat plane, so be it. But when you come at me and say, well, explain how your flat plane works, explain how your sun works and your moon and your stars and where does all the continents lie and how does the South work and how the hell would I know? How would I know, and how is that my responsibility to pull together the entirety of flat Earth research in a couple years? It's just impossible. So what we got to do is just keep getting the word out, and it's getting out. Have no fear. I've seen a lot of people who are getting frustrated or they feel like it's taking too long or it's going to be a long process. I hope you remember that for the globe Earth to win over took some 300, 400 years. Okay, so to get the flat Earth back, it's not going to take that long, of course, but it's going to take a little while. It's going to take some people. It's going to take getting some people in different segments, some PhDs, some people in the scientific sector to start to look into this, which they're already doing. We have proof of that all over the place. And you can start to see that this is going to take hold because the simple fact that they can't prove what they've taught us. That's it. It's that simple. And it sucks for them because when you've basically told the world a lie, well, then it becomes hard to hide that lie when it starts coming out and these news agencies want to come out with these flat Earth little spots or these little segments. It's hard because the elite can't tell them not to. They can't say, hey, don't do that flat Earth story. Because the next question would be, why not? What do you mean, why can't I do a flat Earth story? It's ridiculous. These people believe the Earth's flat. So the problem is that a lot of that stuff is getting let out. It's going to papers. People are covering these conferences. And the more that we get this out, the more that people hear it, the more that people think, the more that people say, hey, let me go back because you're right. If we're all taught something before 4th grade, we all accept it as being true, then it must be damn true. It must be evidential in so many ways. And that's not what the truth is. The evidence is nowhere. It's simply a group of stories by men with a certain worldview, and they hate the idea of creation, and they hate the idea of a created world, and they hate the idea of anything other than the materialistic system that their laws describe. If anything's outside of that, well, it doesn't exist to them. And if you want to be their little lackeys and go around repeating everything that they say and repeating the books that they wrote for you, I can't help you. All these books were written at the exact same time. Okay, all these books were written in the 1600s, 1700s, at the advent of the printing press. All of a sudden, they could mass produce books, and you're telling me you're not afraid that they looked at each other and said, we could lie to the world with this. We could lie to the world. Whatever people read, people were just dying for information. They were just dying for anything. And because most of them were illiterate. They had never read anything in their entire life but the Bible. And so all of a sudden, here comes all these books of Newton's Principia, and believe me, people ate it up. People ate it up. Now, again, if these things are proven to be true, so be it. I'll admit my folly and say, no, I did think the earth was flat, but now it has been clearly proven to me that it's not. So far, oh boy, you guys got a ways to go. Sorry, having a drink. All right, let's move on to this Expedition 14. I got my little pieces out. And I'll show you some of the issues that I have. Let me turn on my little pad here. And we will look at this together, and I'll show you the problems I have with it. Now, remember, the problem was that I had seen that one little spacewalk footage just here. Let me see if I can get you framed up better. Let's see. I think maybe this would be better. Yeah, a little bit. All right. So, again, we'll watch this just so you can see. This is all I could find, and so I did the FOIA request and finally got the footage. So this should be proof of a 5.5-hour spacewalk. Now, a few reasons why this request is not over yet. Number one, if you go back to my 2 previous videos, you'll see an email exchange I had with a Jessica who was part of the FOIA department until she recently emailed back and said she was no longer with NASA FOIA and I had to contact somebody else. But during the time that we were communicating, at one point she asked me if I wanted the audio from the spacewalk. And I said, well, yeah, if the audio is part of the spacewalk, I would like it, please. Thank you. And I got no audio. So the audio that you hear will be from this particular file only.
It was an excellent shot.
Oh, sorry. This is on... I should have told you that if you were watching it. That was on 3 times speed. Let me get it back to 1. All right. So you'll hear the audio in this particular file.
Moving away from us.
Right. And so you'll hear audio in those first 3, but everything else, the only audio you hear, let me just turn one on and see if we can hear it, is like a... Yeah, you might be able to hear that. It's like a running machine or something. I'm not sure if you can hear it. Maybe you can hear it if you go to the files themselves. And let's see. So you can kind of hear that, maybe. You can hear it if you go to the files. You might not be able to hear it on YouTube. But anyway, go to these files. Again, tinyurl.com/NASA FOIA 14 to get to these files. So what I also realized after going through these files carefully to try and figure out what the hell this coding was, I realized that if we go to this one here, ISS 014, which is talking about the expedition, I have no idea what M is or where it says 14M here. But it does say right below that 13, 26, 2350. Well, I realized the 01 is a camera number. So if you notice files 4 through, let's see here, 4 through 20 are camera 1. So if we switch these cameras, you'll see that all that's happening is the footage is changing, but the camera remains the same. Okay, so I was able to realize that. Then if you go to 02, this will be camera 2. Okay, and you can flip around through 02 and see this footage. Then you can go to 03, and you can click around and see 03, as you can see. And then we can go to 04, and we can click around through 04. Now, right off the bat, you've seen a couple of the files that I've clicked on randomly. Is this proof of a spacewalk to you that was done by the 2 gentlemen that were on the porch hitting the golf ball? To me, it is not in any way. It could be faked so easily. And it's not all without astronauts. The first camera, let me bring up my little chart here. I have a little chart that I've been filling out. Okay, so the first camera contains no astronaut footage at all. Okay, so this camera 1, There's never footage, at least that I saw. And again, to watch this in its entirety would take over 14 hours. So I cannot say I've watched it all, but I've kind of played through it fast. And I'm going to turn this to 3 times speed right now, just to kind of help us get through some of this. But you'll see that throughout the entirety of the camera 1, there's never an astronaut present that I was able to see. So we'll go down here. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. Now, I want to show you some interesting parts of this first camera that I thought were interesting. Let me bring up, let's see here, which files. The first one, 224. Oh, so then the number at the end, I was talking about this. So we got camera 01. I can't really tell you what the 327 is. I believe that they're dates because this spacewalk was the 22nd and 23rd. It looks like these dates are 1326 and then 1327. The reason I say that is the time after, the number after that is the time. So you'll see here in this file it's 2350 followed by 0023. So the day switched, so the 26 switches to the 27th. Now those days aren't correct because the spacewalk was on the 22nd and 23rd of November. But I'm just pointing out that that's clearly where the day changed. You can see it goes from 2350 to 0023, 0047, on down to about 557, and then it switches to the second camera and starts over at 26 again and starts at 2351. Then we'll see it switch to the 27, 0024, so on and so forth down the list. So I was able to get that much out of it, not really sure what the rest, like I said, I don't know what the 326 is. And yeah, I can't tell you what that is right off the bat. If anybody knows, leave a comment or let me know. Also, I will need help going through all this. Obviously, I haven't spent 13 hours looking at all of it, so feel free to go here and do whatever you want with any of this footage, and tell me if you think it's proof of the guys on the spacewalk. So let me show you a few different places. We're going to go to file number 224 of this first one, 224. And we are going to skip forward until, sorry, I can't read my own writing. What is this number? 224, 1335 is where it starts. Okay, so I want you to watch something here. At 1335, let me get a little forward here. Okay, so if I'm under the correct understanding of how this all works, we've got the ISS, we've got a camera at it, it's looking at the Earth. Now, we've all seen what happens when we start to get distortion or we get some tracking issues here. You're about to see this part of the screen, the Earth part, start to kind of wig out. The problem is the ISS will not. Let's watch. So see that? You'll notice now that there's a heavy, heavy choppiness coming out of this Earth. See that? But we're not getting the same thing from the ISS. Okay, so we'll back up that a little bit. Or where are we at? 13, yeah. So I kept finding that there's a good picture right there. Oops. Wish I would have stayed there. Are we on the next one? Oh, 224. All right. So here we go. We'll watch it again, and I'll kind of pause it as it happens. And you're getting all kinds of wavy distortion here. See that? Watch a little more. Okay. I did see a flicker up here, but what it looks like is that the Earth is glitching, and that the ISS is not. You'll see heavy glitching here, but you're not seeing that here. You may see a little here or here or here, but we're not seeing at all. Let me go now. This is the next file. No, wait. Let me go back to. So at 244, this one here. This is just a 3-minute and 14-second little clip, but at 221, I saw the same thing. Let me go there. 212. Again, watch the Earth and watch the ISS. And you see it glitching out, and the ISS is not. Glitching, ISS. So explain that to me, Globers. Explain to me how this is anything other than you've got a static, oops, what did I click on? 224. All right. You've got this static picture here, and you've got an Earth, which is nothing more than a screen on some sort of conveyor belt, on some sort of, picture an IMAX theater or something that's behind where they're doing this stuff, and they got a little feed problem. I can't explain it any other way. Why else would this all glitch out as we're about to see? Oops, what file am I at now? 224. All right, let's go to 255. Oh, I wanted to show this here. 255. This one here. Okay. And we're going to go to 10 o'clock or 10-minute mark. yeah, I just thought this was weird here. So you've got what looks like the Earth getting dark as we move forward a little bit more here. Just looks completely ridiculous to me. But then you get a lot of this where it's just getting stuck. Are we still at 3 times speed? Yeah, we're still at 3 times speed, and you just get this stuck kind of footage. You have to jump way forward to kind of get it to move. Trying to remember what else about this piece that I wanted to show. Obviously not proof of a spacewalk, as I said before. But again, if you want to believe that you live here and that this is a ball Earth and it's a sphere and it's in outer space and it's 25 trillion miles away from the closest star, you can believe that. I don't mind. Believe it all you want. Let's go to the next one at 1308 on 401. Let's see, 401. I just had a lot of the Earth glitches mostly. This one's at 1308. Here. And you'll see this start to glitch out. And gets all caught up, but we don't see a lot of that over here, at least not equal. I could see somebody saying, oh, I did see a little bit of it glitching out. You see heavy glitch all along the Earth, and then you get maybe a piece here and a piece here. Sound or no video? Oh, this is on, let's go to 421. Yeah, so we're at 421 at 251. Does that make any sense? 421 at 251. 421. I don't know which one that is. That doesn't go to 251, Jaron. Not sure what that one was. Okay, let's go to the next one. 541, another glitch. There's so many glitches on here. I'm just trying to find the ones that I marked that are the best ones. This is at 12. Because then I started thinking it was happening at the end of the file. That's what it looked like. But this one here is at 1239. Let's get up here a little bit more. And 30, oops. Oh, this is the one that froze. Now, here's the other thing. So this is frozen now. The Earth stops moving. But if you can hear this, you'll have to go find the file yourself. You can still hear the sound. You can still hear the same exact sound. So if the video froze, wouldn't I have a frozen sound or pause sound? You don't get that. You just get sound playing. Again, the more important thing here is this proof that a spacewalk took place between those two guys? And if you don't know, it took NASA about 8 months to get me this spacewalk footage from 2006. Okay, I'm not asking for something from 1971 or something. This is 2006, a normal spacewalk. It cost us $1,400 to get this footage, and this is what we got. Stuff that you can find from the ISS. I mean, if we went and looked at the ISS live on Ustream right now, you're getting exactly the same thing. Let's see here. And ISS International, where's like Ustream? Just to show you real quick that this is exactly what they're producing all the time. So should this have cost me $1,400 to get, this is all that they're showing. Look at this. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh. So I don't know if you can see that good, but the Earth is, wow, that looked really bad. I'll have to watch this later. That's interesting. When is this from? Yeah, so again, you can think you live here. I've never been watching the ISS live and seen the Earth glitch, but not this. That was what I found so interesting about those videos so far. But totally a joke if you're talking about the footage. Now, if you ask me what happened here, I'm just going to go on a limb and tell you that they created the files after the fact because I don't think the spacewalk ever took place. That's my opinion. Where did we go here? I got away from it. All right. Back. 14. Yeah. So let me see what else we got on here. So we got the pause with sound. So then the first time we see an astronaut is for 10 seconds on camera 2. So we're going to go camera 2 now. 0247. Okay, so again, now camera switched, but we still don't get astronaut footage. So thank you, NASA, for sending me 29 minutes of this, where we just see this thing moving around, the camera moving around. Again, if you want to think this is proof that those people were out in space, good for you. I've got an island to sell you in Bakersfield, so get in contact with me. Now, let's get to that file I said, 47, this one, 0247. and the astronaut appears at 6:40. So here we go, and here's your astronaut footage. There's some feet, and back in. Okay, that's your footage. So that's your astronaut. Yep, proof that those guys did that spacewalk because those little boots just appeared. The other weird thing is, no matter how you look at it, if this window, I mean, what is going on with this window reflection where you can see, like the astronaut? Okay, now I go, what? There's not even a window on the other side. You should not be able to. And how would you see a reflection of something behind? But again, go to Elon Musk's beautiful Starman. When you've got that red car in space, it's clearly like a cardboard cutout. It's the same thing. It's probably a cardboard cutout. It's probably not even an actual thing. Why are we seeing people on the other side of it? Makes no sense. So let's continue. As I said, that was the only portion that you see. You can move forward and you don't see any more astronaut. So I kept looking for more astronaut. As you go down here, you can skip to different files. 17 minutes, 31 seconds, no astronaut. 2 minutes and 40 seconds, no astronaut. 13 minutes, 46. Next time I saw an astronaut was at 3:33, which is here. And at 2:19, first astronaut shot, see-through window. Oh, you can see there. You saw him just something go by there. Let's go back. See this? Whatever that is. So my point is, and hopefully you can see this, that if anybody knows how to do video editing, you can just chroma key this shot. Choose black as your exit color. Black gets exited, and then you put in whatever footage you want behind it, and it will look like it's happening back behind here. I mean, it's not even difficult. That's the weird thing, is fooling the world as they've done is not even difficult because people just believe it. They see this, and their mind says that must be in space. It must be NASA. They must be doing work. They must be discovering things that are helping my family, that are helping. No, they're stealing $52 million a day from the public and providing shit-ass evidence, even after taking my $1,400. Not mine. Sorry. I take that back. It was not my $1,400. It was other people's $1,400. And that's why this case can't be over. My question still remains to NASA, like I said about the audio. And the second thing was, another question, you can go back and watch my previous videos on the same subject. At one point, I'm talking with the NASA girl, and she says, oh, one of the problems is that there's actually only, that was interesting there, that there's actually only one of the astronauts, of the two astronauts, had helmet cam. Is that okay with you? Like as if I'm going to say, no, I need both. I said, oh, if there's only one, then yeah, send me that one. Well, if you look at these 4 cameras, none of it is head cam footage. Hopefully I said that, not webcam footage. Head cam. They have a little camera in their helmet. Usually you can see them working, doing nothing, moving carabiner clips and basically wasting time. I thought I was going to get head cam footage from only one of the astronauts, and I got none. So the case is not closed for me. I do not think that we got our money's worth at all. I mean, look at this. What is this crap that could not be faked? Why are we still seeing things through this little hole here? Now, somebody might say, oh, well, that's them. Well, they don't go back into the chamber. They don't go back into the decompression chamber at 3:33. They should be in the decompression chamber at 1 minute. When they come out at 23, whatever it started at, 23:50, yeah. And then at the very end when they go back in. But according to this, they're in. Well, something's going on inside here, as you can see. But it just so happens to coincide with when an astronaut goes behind it. It's just funny. Really, really funny. So let's continue. Let me see what else notes I've got here. So then, basically, I counted the amount of minutes that I could see an astronaut on camera 2. Remember, camera 1, 0 minutes of astronaut footage. Camera 2, total of 19 minutes of the 3-hour and 12-minute footage that I got. So if you were to go to camera 2, which starts at 02, where are we at? Camera 2. So camera 2 starts at 23:51. If you were to take all the time, add it up, 29 plus 7 plus 12 plus all the way to the end of camera 2, you get a total of 3 hours and 12 minutes. If you add up the amount of time you can see an astronaut basically at all, unless, maybe there's a foot that popped up that I didn't see. I was watching it and fast forward. I counted 19 minutes of astronaut footage. Then when you get to camera number 3, I want you to see something here. So camera 3 starts, camera 3:47. So let's see, camera 3:47. Where is it at? Camera 3, 0047. Okay. So this file here Started off pretty normal. I was watching. I don't know what this color is. I don't know how you're supposed to believe that this is actually in space or why we would ever have. And that's the camera flip. The camera flipped to a different color. This thing starts popping over, and then next thing you know, watch this. Let's see here as it comes in. Are we watching normal speed or 3 times? We're watching 3 times fast. But here you go. Then they go in, and this is the cropped shot of this.
And this should be it. Michael, this is good. Michael, and Brown, can you see what we're doing here?
So, again, it doesn't prove in any way that I was wrong about my claim that I thought that this spacewalk never took place, that this was a golf stunt done for some golf company that paid NASA or paid Russia, Roscosmos, to do some sort of stunt where they were going to use some golf club, hit the ball. Well, I think that the astronauts went out wherever they go out, whether that's in a soundstage. I don't believe, by the way, that there's men in space that go outside of the craft to fix things that take 7 hours. I don't believe in any of that. It's nonsense. Going 17,000 miles per hour. It's just space dreams. It's fantasy. It's a religion. And it's meant to indoctrinate you and your children and your parents about where they live by the fact that these men, brave men and women, are up there braving the vacuum of space and hitting golf balls off your money. By the way, that space agencies are funded by your tax dollars. And again, I ask you, what has NASA done for you? I would like to say lately, but ever. What have NASA done for you ever? And your answer will pretty much be nothing. And you might say, well, I've got a microwave. Good for you. Good for you and your microwave. And good for you and your freeze-dried, ice cream. Tastes like shit. Well, what have they done? Oh, they helped solve what? What did they help cure? What did they help solve? What are we learning? Go listen to any astronaut interview, and you'll hear what sounds like a person with a high school education telling children that they do science on the big science machine in the sky that does orbits, which are science-based, and that they need to stay in the STEM sciences to become great astronauts like them, even though when they're asked, what experiments are you doing on the ISS, they've never given an answer at all. They've never even given any kind of an experiment that they're doing. It's like, well, we're doing science, and we're just banging out that science, rocking it out every day, doing science, sending data down to scientists who are reviewing the data and making our lives better every day. Thank you, NASA. 50 years, 60 years, and right now, $53 million a day. $53 million a day. Okay? Just think about that for a second. Think if you won $1 million right now, think of what you could start thinking of what you could do with that money. I won $1 million. Even if you had to pay taxes on it, you said, okay, I'm going to take home $600,000. Think of all the things that you could purchase, that you could do for the world with that kind of money. NASA gets $52 million a day. And what do you get? This. Go NASA. Yeah, keep orbiting the Earth 19 years and you haven't done a shitting thing. By the way, for that $52 million a day, they've never provided a 24-hour view of the Earth. Let me remind you, NASA gets your tax money, $52 million a day, to provide something for humanity, right? That's their mission statement. We provide for humanity. I can find their mission statement over here somewhere, and I'll bring these up later. But their mission is, we reach new heights and reveal the unknown for the benefit of humankind. Yeah, you reach new heights, which are about probably about 110 miles, probably the farthest you've ever been. But anyway, and reveal the unknown for the benefit of humankind, and also hide as much as we possibly can. That's basically what they do. But this is their motto, right? And they've never provided. Now remember, they have a craft. It orbits the Earth, goes around it. In their model, in globe Earth belief, in the fantasy land that is the globe model, they've got people in orbit with this tin can. It's been in orbit for 19 years. And during those 19 years, they have never provided 24-hour footage of the Earth. Can you imagine? What a slap in the face to the American public than to say, here, give me that $52 million a day. No, you don't get 24-hour footage. We're switching cameras. Switching cameras. You might think that that's a joke. It is not. Okay, they say that, sorry, we're currently switching cameras. Oh, switching cameras, are you? Wow, that's really impressive. I thought that we could do that with live footage and not lose any footage, but not according to NASA. Nope. When they switch cameras, it takes about 40 minutes. to come back. You also will never see lights live from the Earth. You will not see street lights. You will not see city lights. You will not see any lights. You will not see lightning. Those things will come in post-production when people like 𝘑𝘬𝘬𝘯 or these other science storytellers from PBS, when they get together and they make movies for you, then yes, you can see pretty lights and you can see lightning and you can pretend you live on a space ball, which is a gigantic rock of lava with a molten iron core, with an R value that's never been proven, and all of that with a spinning that's never been proven, and we just believed it. Hey, I'm just like you guys. I'm no different. I'm no better. I believed it like you. I sat in a desk and thought, why would they ever lie to me? We must be spinning on a space rock, and we must be flying through space at 66,000 miles per hour, and the sun must be 1,000,000 times bigger than the Earth. Give me a break. Wake up. Look at your reality and stop letting men dictate it for you. Okay? I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm telling you, go outside and you figure it out yourself. Figure out where you live, and if you choose that the men that have told you all these stories of space stories and planets and orbits, and if you want to believe all that, then go ahead. That's your prerogative. For me, hell no. I think we get one life here. I don't want to believe lies that somebody told me. You know? I don't want to. I think that Richard Feynman said it when he said that he would rather have he would rather not know the answer than to have answers that end up being wrong. And so would I. So yeah, you can go around believing that you have all the answers about how the universe works, and you can be George Hunachuk, and you can be all these guys that think you know everything. I know everything. I know exactly the way the Earth works. I know exactly the way it all operates. And if you're happy with that, good for you. You know, I don't want to believe those things and then find out when it's all over that I was wrong. I would rather be responsible for my own beliefs. On my final day, if I believed a bunch of lies, I want it to be because I investigated them and came to that conclusion on my own. And not one of us can say that about the Earth. Not one of us. We all believe because we were told at a young age. That's why there was a 0% chance that you came out of 6th grade, 4th grade, not believing in the globe Earth. 0%. So when that's the case, then I say it's worth every penny to go back and investigate this thing from the very beginning. And when you do, it falls apart. Everything. Aristophanes, Aristarchus, it all falls and crumbles when you realize that all of our history is a lie. That we probably haven't even been here as long as people think. That there's probably some sort of reset or cataclysm or something that they know about, and that's why it's easy for them. And when it happens again, they'll just come out with the same information 100 years from now, 50 years from now, and they'll be able to teach it to their masses then, and everybody will believe it then, and they can just reissue the Bible, and everybody will believe that then because there's no dates in there, and it's just all nonsense. It was all written in 1600. Go back and do your own research. Find out when books were written. Find out why it is that all we have is copies of copies of copies of copies. Find out why that is. Find out if they could have been changed and how you would know. And then you'll come to the realization. Real quick, we'll take a timeout break just to show you. I just brought up some various websites that have the same problem that I had. Let me give you a better view. I know you can see only a framed portion of this, so let's transition this. There you go. Getting NASA to comply with simple FOIA requests is a nightmare. NASA often refuses to complete Freedom of Information Act requests using the excuse that it's unclear. This is just one particular article. You can bring this up, but NASA, when it comes to FOIA requests, is a total joke. Absolute should not have taken me 8 months and $1,400 to produce something that should be digitally stored. We don't have that many spacewalks. This isn't like I'm asking for... Even if I were to ask for a baseball game, I mean, think about that. If I were to go and ask a baseball team, hey, can I see the game that you played against this team on this date, and it was only from 2006, the team would be like, well, we only have 162 games a year. Sure, here's the file. It's easy for us to find 162 games a year against this team on this date. Boom, go right to the archives. They'll give you the file. It's that simple. NASA? Oh, boy. Well, we've only had 200 spacewalks in our entirety of 60 years. 2006, that's going to be tough, and it's going to cost you $1,400, and you're going to have to wait 8 months for us to send back crap, to send back various ISS footages you could have taken in a soundstage, in a pool, in models. Have you ever seen how they do the models on Space Odyssey 2000? What they've got is a little black box with black felt and lined, and then they put little models in there, hung on little fishing strings, and they take pictures of it, and it looks real. And that's how Star Wars was done, and that's how Spaceballs was done. And I mean, there's so many stories behind that. I don't know if people know about Spaceballs. You've seen that movie, right? Hopefully you have. Great film. But certain things had to happen with that movie. For instance, George Lucas made sure that if they were going to come out with the movie, that they weren't allowed to have any merchandise. So you might even remember the merchandise scenes in the video were actually a joke because they weren't allowed to have merchandise. Why not? Because their merchandise would look exactly the same as Star Wars. Because they all use the same process. So when you go look at Star Wars and you go look at how these things look on the blackness of space, then go back and look at NASA's footage, and it's identical. It's the same thing. It's the same crap-ass models in a black box that have been sold to humanity as true, and because we learned it when we were in kindergarten and first grade, and because everybody believed it, we hold on to it super tight. Not me, not anymore. Let's go to this one here, which is an interesting article talking about NASA should be friendly to the press. Lately, it's not. It's just talking about how no matter what these people are trying, be it different researchers or interviewers or whatever, researchers basically, that every time they try to contact NASA, NASA never gets back to them. They're not available for interviews. They can never get information when they need it. NASA will announce some new finding. Then a bunch of media people will try and contact them for quotes. They can't get a hold of them. There's nobody from NASA. Nobody returns their information. Even like this guy who says, while each reporter's mileage may vary, I'm not the only one plagued by the slow speed of NASA. I always anticipate having to wait a few days or wait for several days to hear back, says a national space reporter who, like many of the reporters I spoke to, wish to remain anonymous. So even these reporters that report on space say, don't mention my name. I'm reporting anonymously that NASA doesn't respond to me. Well, because they don't want to get thrown out of the community. They don't want to be unwelcomed into the allowed press booth where only people that NASA gives permission to can do stories on them. It's ridiculous. But it says, because reporters know that NASA train arrives late, if they don't need a NASA's comment, they sometimes seek out specifically non-NASA sources. The lag also stops them from pitching NASA stories in the first place, seeking greener pastures that are easier to cultivate. NASA scientists haven't always been so unreachable, and that some even used to schedule their own calls with reporters without the need of including communication staff. But now, if you're going to talk to a NASA scientist, you have to have a NASA communication staff involved. Well, this is what happens when you start telling the world lies. You need a lot of control over that. When you're telling the truth, guess what? You don't need that. Sorry. When you're telling the truth, you don't need a media representative. You don't need a communication staff member because you're just telling the truth. But when you've got a very dictated, very laid out system of stories that you have to tell in a certain way and you can't release that, don't say that, well, this is what you get. So anyway, check out this product, this article I read. It's kind of long, but the other thing that's interesting is some of these comments. But it's ridiculous that NASA is the way it is. If anybody has watched my 2 previous videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I did nothing wrong in the whole process, and yet it's been one of the worst experiences ever, and it really does discourage you from ever doing it again. Like, for instance, why would I request anything from NASA again? They stole my money. They took 8 months to deliver. They delivered crap. So what do you do if you're in my predicament? Even if that didn't prove shit. But who do I go to? What do I go to? The media? And I say, hey, NASA didn't actually do this spacewalk that cost the country $37 million or whatever it was. They actually faked it and just did a little porch golf ball hit and took the money from some from some golf agency out of Canada and never did an actual spacewalk. But then NASA would just say, well, here's the footage right here. And the media would go look at that and say, it's right there. It's right there. Go, here it is. Here's the spacewalk. Here's the footage, Sharon. What are you asking for? Well, where's the rest of it? Where is the 5.5 hours that these astronauts are supposed to be out there doing something? So where do I go? What do I do? Don't you understand what they're doing? Don't you understand what they did? By doing it this way, it makes it impossible for me to even want to continue to look into NASA stuff. And I say we stop. I say, fuck them. That's what I say. They're garbage. They provide garbage. They're not worth the time. That's the honest truth. They're not worth the time. My wife and I used to sit and watch spacewalks. And we used to really critique the live ones because I said, hey, if we're ever going to find anything, it's going to be on the live videos. And then I watched as Elon Musk completely changed live video in front of my eyes on YouTube, still listed today as streamed live on such and such date, yet I've got the proof that they went in after and changed it. So what did we do at that point? Well, I don't watch live shit anymore. I could care less. They can change live footage. Well, why would I watch it? What difference does it make? You're just going to change it. When I try and bring it up to people, it's not going to do anything. It doesn't matter. So to me, NASA has proven themselves to be worth spit. What I mean by that is nothing. They're worth garbage. Let's see 1 second. I want to make sure I've got this all good. Thank you again. I see I had another super chat. I appreciate that. So anyway, if anybody wants to go through any of this footage in detail, please do. I didn't find much. Let's see if I have anything else on my list here. But it's certainly not proof to me. But it gets to the point where it's like, well, I did send the email off and say, hey, this isn't what I asked for. What happened to the helmet cam footage? I mean, my main question was, is there more spacewalk footage, audio or head cam footage related, that was redacted from my FOIA request? Because this is supposed to be public information. This is public, public funds were used to, I guess, put this. That's a craft flying in space, by the way. I mean, come on. I mean, if you believe that this is the Earth and we're out floating in the blackness and emptiness of space, the gigantic ball Earth. Think of how big the ball Earth would be. Think of how much it would weigh. Think of how much mass it would have, and we're just floating in space. You could believe that if you want, but you've never seen it. You've never seen it with your own eyes, so you're taking the words of men. And again, if they lie to you about everything on Earth, and I don't know very many people that would say, nope, we're never lied to. No, we're lied to, and I don't know anybody that wouldn't say that. So if you differ in that, then leave a comment. I think everybody would agree that we've been lied to in almost every aspect of our lives. Everything that happens to you is some sort of lie, really. But here's the difference. This is a place you can't go. This is a distance you can't measure. This is the size of a planet you'll never see. This is an entire world, an entire fantasy that is a religious belief that you are willing to go to bat for, that you are willing to repeat out of books for, that you are willing to swear up and down and call people names in every facet that's possible for. That's a religion. That's exactly what religions do, and that's what space has become. It's become a religion. It's a fantastical fantasy and nothing more. And I refuse to say anything else until I'm shown evidence for it. Okay? So I don't care. I have no problem admitting I don't know where I live. I'm not sure what I live on. I'm not sure how it all works. I'm not sure what the sun is or how far it is or what distance it is. So don't ask me. But there's people out there telling us they do know. And when people have made a claim like they know the distance to the sun, then it's perfectly okay for you to say, oh, show me the evidence of the distance to the sun. Okay? When they have to tell you a story about people assuming that the light in the sky that is Venus was the same size as Earth, and then they calculated, well, if it's the same size of Earth, and we presume, with a presupposition that the Earth is a ball and that it's this big that Aristophanes came up with 2,000 years ago, and then we apply that to the light in the sky that's nothing more than a light, oh, now we can say that it's about the same size as Earth, and if it's crossing the sun, then the sun must be this big, and the sun must be this far, and then they create this entire fantasy for you. Watch my video on scaling and variance, and you'll realize, cut all those distances in half, and we're in the same boat. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Cut the distances in half, cut the sizes in half, and everything appears to be the same. The sun appears to be the same size in the sky because of scaling and variance. Doesn't matter if it's 330 million miles away and 3 million miles wide, or if it's 93 million miles away and 867,000 miles wide. Doesn't matter. Same thing. Mathematics do not prove reality when somebody can't go out and physically confirm it. So who is confirming these distances? Who is confirming planets? Who is confirming their orbits? No, nobody. Nobody. It's all a space-based religion. Let's see here. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Earth is seriously flat. It is seriously flat. It is observably flat. And if you believe differently, then I hope that you have reasons for believing that other than, well, my teacher said, well, scientists say. Yeah, good for you. Because if they don't say that, then they won't be a scientist. If you come out and say, well, I don't think the Earth's a ball, you won't be a scientist. They will remove you from that profession damn quickly. So again, that's pretty much it. And then camera 4, let's see here, what was on camera 4? I mean, there's just, what are we going to review? We're going to sit around and watch this? I mean, this is what they sent me. So if you don't think that this could have been taken last week or whenever, and I'm not saying that this is in space, I hope you understand it's one of the hardest things about doing this is a lot of times you have to start talking as if you believe in this nonsense, which I don't. But even if I did, you know, what is this? Oh, this little thing's turning now. Great. That's proof of your spacewalk that lasted 5.5 hours, that supposedly you did a bunch of work, but all I can find is you guys acting like jackasses, and I guess considering this is hitting a golf ball. I mean, it just looks like junk. And as I've said before, you put people in green screens or green suits. I don't know if you've ever seen like Green Man. You could put on a spandex green suit and you could be holding these guys up from behind them. And then you just do a chroma key and eliminate them. It's the easiest trick that there is in photography. But here's the problem. If you're the only ones in space, then nobody can check up on you. Nobody can verify that this is actually happening in space. It's just what they tell you. So you can believe NASA? Well, I don't. That's basically the moral of my story, is I don't believe liars. It's not like NASA said they went to the moon and then in 1982 came out and said, we did it for the Cold War. We did it for the space race. We did it because we wanted to get by, you know, whatever. And they admitted that they lied and kind of, no, these people lie to your face today. Okay? You still have people that will tell you, Buzz Aldrin will tell you he went to the moon. He'll tell you that today. Okay? So when people are lying to me for 60 years, if you think I'm going to believe this shit, you got another thing coming. This is proof of nothing to me at all. It's more garbage. It's more proof that NASA is an inept, completely disgraceful organization, a laughingstock in my book. They provide nothing real. They have clouded the minds and, bent over the American public and the world and continue to do so. And they continue to get funding, so why would they stop? And why would they stop telling you about satellites that they put up in space when really it just costs them a few tens of grands or $10,000, $50,000 to put up balloons that do the same work, that are cheaper, easier to manage, more effective, closer, better accuracy, that sit up there in an area where there is no weather, where there is no wind. Okay? And they're controlled by computer. You don't even need a human being to keep a balloon in the same location. The balloon has a little canister in it that explodes when it gets too low, rises it back up, it vents when it gets too high, comes back down, remains in the exact same spot, and all of it is computer controlled. Not even a person needed in the world. So anyway, that's basically it for today. I hope you enjoyed going through this file. I did tell everybody that the files would be available to the public domain, and they are. Again, you can go to tinyurl.com/NASA FOIA 14 or change the 14 to a 22 if you want to watch the other one. I did want to say a big thank you. They are the best, and if you want to join them, you can go to patreon.com/journalism. Me to continue doing this research and exposing liars who go around and continue to indoctrinate and enslave the entire world. More than 50 or 100 YouTubers out there making videos. And a lot of people, and I try not to. I don't care who says what about me. I don't care. A nonsense channel says that I'm involved in, or it's just all bullshit. So if you're that are mudslinging, that are doing nothing but just causing that's your deal. That's, in my opinion, you wasting time. You could be so I don't watch those channels, so I don't even hear it. Other than that, one other thing, if you want to support this channel in an easy way, in a free way, you can go on Amazon, go to j.ip/Jaron. Before you shop at Amazon, you pay the same price. I get a small percentage. That also helps me. So I appreciate you guys watching so much. If you need me or have a question for me, the best place to go is ask.fm/Jaronism. Ask there. It may take you a few days, but I will get back to you. And I believe that is it. So I appreciate you guys watching so much. Don't lie. And remember to do your own research. And if you do, you'll never again believe what you've been taught. Till next time, guys, this has been Jaronism. Peace.